My name is Barry Atnip. It's right up there, and I have Erdheim-Chester disease, and I guess this is going to be my journey. I work together and they've been very, very supportive of my Erdheim-Chester disease along the way. So that's us, and that's me. I'm the little one with the blonde curly hair up there. I'm the baby. Oops, I think I went one too far. That's our company. We're located in Fullerton, California. That's all the nice people that I work with. We're about 18 or 20 people. We have our main office is in Fullerton, but we have some other sales reps that work for us in Northern California, Colorado, Arizona, and basically in the Western United States. And that's our group right there. And that's the front of our office right there in Fullerton, which is also where I live. This is me growing up, and as a kid, I was active like a lot of you people were, and played sports and skied and played water polo and basketball and baseball and all the normal things that normal kids do. So I had a pretty normal, active life growing up. Everything seemed to be pretty normal. And then as obviously I got married almost 30 years ago. It'll be 30 years ago Monday. Got married to Melinda, and I can't go by too much further without telling you. Thank you so much for all you've done, Melinda, because I obviously wouldn't be standing here telling this silly story if it wasn't for you. And like I said, I'm not a crier, Dave, but this Erdheim-Chester brings it out in you, and you end up feeling emotions that you've never felt before. And I sure have a lot of good feelings for my lovely wife, Melinda, who's helped me through this whole thing. So thank you, sweetie. So that's Melinda. We got married 30 years ago. There's our two boys, Richard and Bradley. They're now 26 and 22, and that's when we were raising those kids. And I stay active with family with ski, and I try to mountain bike and keep doing things. And I've been active the whole way through. And I think I mentioned this to some of you guys. I was a coach. I spent a bunch of years coaching Little League, and then I spent about 12 years coaching high school water polo, which is the sport I played through high school and college. So I did that for fun, staying active in the community. And that's me coaching there and on the pool deck. And that's my older son, Richard. That was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. We were working, handing out some snacks. I'm in the snack business. That's what we do. We're a food broker, handing out some snacks at an event. Oh, I guess here we go into the timeline, huh? So this kind of breaks it down for you guys a little bit. But going way back, probably at 10 years ago, I started having to, pee a lot. Like I was talking to a lot of you guys. That was when my diabetes insipidus probably came on about 10 years ago, and I phrased it today with Chris back there. I called it, back then I had diabetes light. I just had diabetes insipidus, just mainly in the mornings. It was really a problem. And then, so that was coming on, and then as I was coaching and working and trying to be a father. My legs were really aching, and I thought that was just old age, Dave. We're just all getting older. So I thought, well, getting older, you got to pee more, and your legs are going to hurt, and that's just part of life. But it turns out it wasn't. It turns out it was Erdheim-Chester disease. It was early August 2018. I went from having diabetes insipidus light, where I was just kind of peeing in the morning, and I just thought that was kind of part of old age, to where a switch just got flipped. And I've already mentioned this earlier today, some of you guys, and I had diabetes insipidus, full blown. I was going to the bathroom every 20 minutes, like it or not, and I was drinking tons of water. And that was one of the first big symptoms I had, and that was, what are we looking at, like about 4 years ago. Almost to the day, that really hit, and that took them a little while to deal with and diagnose. And then they gave me the desmopressin, which a lot of us have diabetes insipidus, and they gave me desmopressin, and bada bing, you're cured. And I was back up to my normal life and back to doing what I was doing. And then part of that is they do a MRI on your pituitary gland, and that's how they kind of check out do an MRI on your pituitary gland, see what's going on with that. And they didn't know at the time what caused the diabetes insipidus. And as we all know, I think we got to get to the endocrinologist and let them know if you have a patient who comes in and has diabetes insipidus, and it means you're peeing all the time, right? And you didn't just get in a car accident or weren't just hitting the face with a baseball bat, and you don't have a tumor on your pituitary gland, you might have Erdheim-Chester disease. And if we get to those people, I think we can help, about half the Erdheim-Chester patients. So
they did that. It also, for all you men out there, it affected my testosterone. So that pituitary gland deals with that too. So I get to go to I go to the doctor every office every twice a month, and they give me a nice little injection. They stick a needle right in my butt. So just like that, just like the professional football players do, right? But so I get some testosterone, and that because that's when your testosterone goes down, that really makes you feel weak and fatigued and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of was my timeline of my diabetes insipidus there. Let's see what else is next. Oh, look, life went on. They gave me the desmopressin.
Gave me the desmopressin, and life goes on. We're traveling in Europe. We're skiing as a family. Everything's going just fine. And then right, like 2 months into COVID started. We all remember that. And so just about a couple months into COVID, my left eye started driving me crazy. So I went to the eye doctor, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it looks like you have some sun damage from all those years of coaching and playing water polo and doing all that. So we need to remove that sun damage from your eye." So that's what they thought was causing all my eye irritation. But it turns out it wasn't that. Turns out it was Erdheim-Chester. Back showing its ugly little head. And what it was a 2 centimeter mass, cancerous mass behind my left eye that was pushing it out. That was causing all the irritation. But it took them a while to figure that out. So while that eye was bothering me, and I was kind of dealing with that, using lots of eye drops, my gut started bothering me really bad. And then that's when the kidneys started, I think, showing their little ugly head up. And that so my kidneys were bothering me. So I finally went to the doctor because my stomach was bloated, and they did a CT scan on me, and they called me that day and they said, "You have lymphoma." And I think a lot of us have kind of heard that same type of thing before. They're like, because they see my whole insides, from the doctor said, from here to here is full of fibrosis. And they saw that on the CT scan. They're like, "Oh, this guy's going to die tomorrow. We better let him know." So they thought it was lymphoma. But as we all know, it wasn't lymphoma. That's the Erdheim-Chester causing all that fibrosis that starts behind the kidneys. And I think as it dies and moves, it just starts filling up this cavity inside your body. And that's what it was doing. It was finally starting to cause me some irritation. So I started doing PET scans and biopsies and PET scans and all this stuff. And I mean, we all had the same. A lot of us had the same exact story. They just don't know what it is. Too close. Yeah. So a lot of us know what that's like. So it took them a while. So I dealt with that for about 8 months. And then they finally got me a diagnosis. So after about 8 months of dealing with that, they saw this, and they're like, "There's some real problems." They saw the stuff behind the eye, they saw the stuff on the kidneys, and then they were able to give me a diagnosis of Erdheim-Chester. Right here's where Dr. Martin up at Stanford, and some of you people deal with her, was able to give me a diagnosis of Erdheim-Chester. And then so we started moving forward through that, and then after that, we met with her. She diagnosed me. We met with my oncologist at UCI. Then with some back and forth, we decided we'd go see Dr. Diamond in New York and go see what he had to say. So that's when we went to New York, met face-to-face with Dr. Diamond, because our appointment with Dr. Martin up at Stanford was a Zoom meeting, and it's just not the same when they're not seeing you face-to-face. And we went and saw Dr. Diamond in New York right during COVID. Obviously, COVID is raging at this whole time. And what he did is he confirmed the diagnosis, and he prescribed me a Mekinist and Taflunar. And that's what I started on. And I started that on April Fool's Day, April 1st, probably in there somewhere, April 1st, 2021. And I started on those 2 things. And that's what really changed my life. So after taking those and he said this, almost immediately the bone pain went away in my legs. That happened within like a week. And then within a month, my eyes started feeling better. And then things just started obviously getting much, much better. I started actually gaining some weight back because I had lost a lot of weight during that time. And my life really turned around. And that was thanks to Well, this is interesting. Just back up a little bit. How did we find out about the Erdheim-Chester, not regional alliance? Not the Erdheim-Chester local alliance. It's not the Erdheim-Chester state alliance. It's the Erdheim-Chester global alliance. And that's what this disease needs. This disease needs a global alliance because there's so few of us. So we got to get the whole world involved. And that's what Kathy's done. So thank you so much. So good job doing that. And so Dr. Martin told us about the Erdheim-Chester Global Alliance and got us involved with you guys. And I think I mentioned this a little bit during that interview is you got us those pamphlets. You have those handouts that I guess you make. I don't know how you do it. Some sort of magic of some sort. But you have these handouts that are like for patients and families and one for doctors. So when I go to a doctor, I hand it to them and I tell them, hey, I have this and you've never heard of it. And they're all like, you're right. I've never heard of it. And it also helps. We talked to Glenn had mentioned it that, you know, sometimes that you have this disease and you're kind of working through it, you seem pretty fine, especially if you start to get better, you're fine. So it's nice to have something to show to your family and friends, like, hey, this is what I have, and this is kind of what I'm dealing with, and it points it out, and they're like, oh, I guess it is a real thing. So that's a really nice piece that you guys spent time to put together, and I appreciate and so do all my friends, they appreciate the illustrations. So we heard about you guys from Dr. Martin, but you guys have been a big help for us and our family. And then, like I said, we went out and saw Dr. Diamond. He gave me the drugs, the Mechanist, the Taflonar, and we're off to the races. Next thing we know, we're getting back to life, trying to enjoy our life. Like I asked the good doctor, Dr. Goodman, like, you know, I don't know. The future looks promising because you guys are all pretty old. So I think that's good for me. Yeah. I mean, Dave doesn't look it, but he's 63 years old. You know, so that's awesome. You know, and so there's a bright future, I think, for people like me and people that are going to be like me that don't know they have it yet. And they got the diabetes insipidus or something. So there's treatments out there. And after hearing Dr. Goodman today, I even have more hope because, you know, you hear you got the hairy kidney. You don't know what that means. What? Hairy kidney? He's got a hairy face. Is that the same thing? So and he said, no, I think you can live with that. I think you'll be fine. You can live with hairy kidney. We got it. I think they got it, Glenn. I think they got it early enough. So I mean, they can live with that forever. So that's all super positive. So that's something that came out of today. So I appreciate that. I better push some more buttons over here. I think, how's my mic positioning? Oh, look at this. That's Dr. Diamond right there. Here he is. That's the guy who saved my life. And up there at Memorial Sloan Kettering, I got some other really good doctors. That's Dr. Francis. She's the one who helped save my vision. She specializes in eye cancer and in particular histiocyte eye cancer. So she's super special. And that's me walking in Memorial Sloan Kettering right there. What do? Oh, I take about 10 pills a day. I hit 2 shots in my butt a month. I do blood work all the time. I do some PET scans and MRIs every 6 months. I do lots of lab work. That case that Dr. Goodman put up today early, that almost was like me. That's almost exactly me, the one he put up there. So that's about my situation. There's all my doctors. I used to, think it was neat that I just had one doctor and didn't have any problems, but that ship has sailed. I got a whole host of doctors that help me from, the dermatologist to the urologist to the oncologist to the endocrinologist. There's something, looks like there's a doctor for everything. So that's, those are my team of doctors. Oh, wait, there's my family. So that's me and that's Richard, he's 26, and there's Bradley, he's 22. And I put a little weight on since then, but there's Melinda. So that's our little family. And look at that. We did the Erdheim-Chester disease walk. We sure had fun with that. And my son got all his friends down at the beach and they did a walk, run, swim thing. And this is what we do now. We like to ski and we like to travel. So I think that's it. And now we're on top of the world. And here we are. So thank you to the ECGA. That's all I got, folks.
Great.